purpose of this really, and we have the largest group. Daisy already left. See, she's had it with me.
Give me a
She's
pen.
done. She's done. Ed, would you like a better colored pen?
Not red, Jason, not red.
I got a few. The purpose of this, and this is the largest group we've had so far, is to really kind of lay the foundation for what's expected at the annual meeting, for what your various plans are at your schools, what maybe you had planned to do, and maybe what you're looking at doing now based on kind of some shifts that have happened in the universe. And answer questions that you have, and give you guys from the school some time to talk to each other about, this is what we were thinking of doing. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Hey, we've done that in the past. We haven't done that. We have Megan, who was a Title I facilitator, and Maria Roop, who was a Title I facilitator, who have planned and organized many a annual meeting in their day. So they have that background to share of how they've done it. So that'll be pretty valuable to have both of them on here. But really, I think I'd probably just like to start with one of you guys in the school, sort of either maybe sharing your plan or what you had envisioned to do, and then just let the conversation go. What kind of questions do you have? What are the things you have to do? What are some things that you don't have to do? And that'll be that. Who's going to start? Mike Laster, you were ready to go a day ago, so you should have something to say.
What's the Title I meeting? Which one is this?
It's the one. It's for your ESE kids who don't ride a bus. You have to figure out a plan.
Nice. Okay. No, honestly, the original plan, and I really do want to rethink it, to be honest. Just the way everything's been pretty wild. But the original plan is to do like we traditionally do, is have them go through the cafeteria and set our cafeteria up, and have them kind of watch their presentation, and then go into different classrooms. We were actually going to have some of our STEAM stuff out as well, because that used to be, it still is one of our Title I funded positions. So that was out, so they could see all the stuff that they're doing in the STEAM lab and things like that, and then visiting the classrooms to get their compacts and all that signed. But I don't know if I want everyone in the cafeteria now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were going to give away, we have a bunch of laptops that were donated to us. We were going to give those away, like as raffles, like throughout the different, after, like, doing like 3 different presentations, and then a laptop after each. You know what I mean?
Oh. So then
you're on mute. I know it's your first time on Teams, but you're on mute.
Are you able to do that in multiple locations? So it's not all in the cafeteria. Do you have space?
Yeah, we could, because what we could do, and because honestly is not do the STEAM kind of demo, because I was just going to do that because it's kind of cool stuff that they can do, but it's a lot of hands-on, and do one in almost like 2 areas where it's the media center and the cafeteria.
Yeah. And we were kind of thinking that for the video presentation that has historically happened also, instead of that being in one room or one location, especially for those that may have Promethean boards, especially on stands that might be maybe mobile, have that presentation going at a few different places throughout the campus. So instead of having 150 people at once watching that, you may have 50 and 30 and 20 and whatever. Hey, we're in the cafeteria, we're in the media center, we're in the old music room, we're in the this, we're in the that. So not everybody's kind of congregated in the exact same place.
I met with the school this morning, and I'm certainly not encouraging anybody to take this route, but because they want to be very precautious, what they're going to do is they're going to have parents sign up for a time slot through the teacher, and that time slot they'll be able to go to one of those locations, watch the presentation, then go have that meeting for the compact, get all the information, and then head out. But they're trying to do it very strategically, so the parents are there, this is my 15 minutes, this is my 20 minutes, by however many children they have. So just, wanted to put that out there too. I know Doodle's really good about collecting those, scheduling those timeframes, etc. So, just putting that out there too.
Okay. How did the East Side have theirs yesterday?
They did.
How'd it go?
It went really well.
What'd they do?
So what we did was we did play it in the cafeteria where we had Christ Lutheran Church set up with, they provided hot dogs and chips and water to the families. And they also had all of their clothing out because they give, it's called God's Clothes Closet. So the families were coming in to get some, clothing. There were some uniform clothes too buried in there. They actually gave away about 100 pounds of clothing. But the teachers had scheduled their own individual conferences. So it was a filtering in of people over a 3-hour period. And at one point when it seemed like attendance was a little bit low, we figured we could at least get them in, even if they hadn't scheduled that conference. Then, so Sarah did a real quick global connect, and we saw quite a few families start heading out from the neighborhoods, walking over, coming over, and I'm not sure how many were able to go in and actually grab a conference spot with their teachers, but that was encouraged as well. And one thing I want to point out is that that was our first time trying the, if you're not wearing a mask, have a mask, and it went really well. I was pleasantly surprised. Del, Jamil, and I just had a box of masks, and anyone who walked up without a face covering, we said, would you care for a face covering? And everyone except one person said, oh yeah, thank you. And one lady just said, do I have to? I said, well, it's board policy that you wear a mask or a face covering. And she kind of, but she took it and put it on. So there was no confrontation. It was really easy.
So can you do that? Can you do that face again? Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
And I did put in the post yesterday on Teams, Karen Jordan provided just like a little snippet that we can add to the bottom of your invitations that just remind families that if they're going to come, the adults to bring their masks. So if you want me to, I can add that to everybody's invitation that's in your file.
The other thing,
we thought that would be a good idea, so that they kind of hard for them to complain and say, well, I didn't know.
Right.
Well, watch our crazy board meetings, and that's what we're doing right now. And if it's on your flyer, if it's in your Facebook post, if it's on your it's in the agendas, or it's on your school website, wherever the invitation goes, get a little blurb there, then I think we should be covered as far as the reminder, than just have some boxes out by the front table or whatever to remind folks.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that didn't know. I mean, to be honest, parents are calling us about, why did my son have a mask when he came home? Like, well, you're not opted out, and we gave you a mask.
Yeah.
So for the most part, people seem to be fairly reasonable. But one of the other things I wanted to point out real quick, and then I'll stop talking. Christ Lutheran Church did ask last night, all right, when's our next one? They are actively seeking to be school partners with schools. So I told them to connect with Jamil in the Parent Academy. Either Del or Jamil will keep connecting with them. So if you're interested, when you're meeting with us in your planning, if you want them to come out, they want to be active partners. And Mike and Maria, they're real close right here. But I talked to them. They were very interested in what Title I is, and I told them that some of our higher need schools are actually on the west side of the county, and they were interested in West Side and Deltona. If that's something that the schools are interested in, they'd be more than happy to partner up with you.
That's cool. Daisy, I would recommend maybe reaching out to Sakura to see if they're going to sponsor sushi for Suncoast annual meeting.
Well, I mean, their kid does go here.
I know. I think that might be a good little partnership to have there. That's going to definitely set you apart from the others. So I think you might want to work on that.
I did reach out to Jamil. I haven't heard back, but I emailed earlier this week, just waiting for a response for their assistance and participation. And I emailed Shanika, or I left Shanika a voicemail too about coming out to ours, and she emailed me back. She was going to call me today, but I haven't really been in my office, but I haven't seen a voicemail from her yet.
Yeah, we were talking about that actually a little bit earlier. She said, I gotta get a hold of Daisy. What does she want? Like, I don't know. What does Daisy ever want?
Yeah. So, and then we're gonna try to do. We did it 2 years ago. Maria helped us when we had our first Title I night a couple years ago, and we did a student-led conference night. So each of our students have data folders where they have like their diagnostic data, their iReady lesson data, and any other data the teacher's collecting, so that they're sharing that with their parents when they come in.
Yep, I like that.
I just texted Jimmy.
Okay, thank you. I tried. I didn't see a phone. Well, I have last year's phone book. I don't think we got new phone books yet. So I tried the extension for. She took Kelly's spot, right?
Yeah, it's extension 267.
Okay. I tried Kelly's old number, But then there was no name on the voicemail, so I was like, I won't leave one.
So now are you complaining that you don't have a new phone book?
No, I really appreciate you getting me the old phone book.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think the student-led conferences is a great idea. That could lead to a good conversation, especially for those of you who may have a student goal section on your compact. They can kind of really easily tie into each other. Here's my dad, mom and dad. Here's where I'm at, and I want my goal to be this based on what we just talked about. And I've seen those as early as kindergarten. I think I was at Westside's a few years ago at their annual meeting, and the kindergartners were going through doing their data chats, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world. I mean, my kid can't formulate 2 sentences, and he's in 4th grade, but these kindergartners were just rocking it. Okay. Maria Whoop, has Parrott picked a date yet? That's the important question.
They did.
Yes, we did at SAC yesterday. We picked a date, but I was wondering, is that, if possible, is that Wednesday may be available? Because I have a plan in my head, but I haven't brought it to anyone's attention.
So the 29th.
An early release day.
It's available.
Okay, because we may just have a slight change to that day, but I have to bring it to Mr. Clifford and discuss it with him. But as of now, it's that Tuesday. Because I'm thinking that Wednesday may work better for the teachers with getting out at, close to 5 o'clock and not having time to prepare and stuff that day. If we get out on the early release day, they'll have a little bit of time after, district trainings too. So.
Just let us know, Maria.
Yeah, I'll let you know later. I just can't. Things are crazy, and to get him in his office for 5 minutes is.
If apparently the trick to that is to plop him in front of his computer and watch my YouTube video. And
schedule a meeting.
That apparently.
Even scheduling meetings are hard. Trust me. That apparently
works. Yeah, and what were you thinking? What was your sense? Chris is kind of new to Title I world, and I think so are a lot of the folks on the leadership team at Parrott. Like, what were you? Besides someone
kind of along the lines that the middle schools, how the middle schools do it, where the parents would go to like their first period class, put the presentation on for them to see during the first period, and then they can travel, openly from their 2nd to 7th period and stop in and follow the kids' schedule, stop in and say hello to the teachers, and first period classes would get the compact signed. And other than that, we haven't put much thought or discussion completely into it, which I know sounds horrible coming from me when I've done 3 of these last year and the past years, but.
I emailed you, Maria. Let me know if we can come out on the 20th.
Between everything, the quarantines and the fights and everything else, it's
we've
world this year.
Yeah, I know. But we've been out there, other than not being able to get to SAC last night, but at least like Mr.
I know how to do it, and I can.
You do, and you've got really great staff that can do that as well. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be there. We'll be there for you.
Gotcha. I can unmute him now. Uh-oh, there we go. No, I don't want to disable his mic.
Got it.
There we go. Okay. It sounded like there was some chaos. Was it just the Laster kids coming to say hi?
Yeah, no. Super readers, bro. We make a big deal about super readers.
That's
the whole front office gets crazy with them.
Absolutely. You should. All right, LaPlatney, what's going on at Westside?
I took the documents that were sent over and made them Westside fabulous. So everything is black and gold. We had a little conversation at our SBLT this week talking about preparation teacher-wise. But Christina and I are going to meet before Megan comes out to meet with us and kind of finalize some details as far as like what our night's going to look like. But I'm sure that we're going to roll with what we typically do with the student-led conferences, with the media center, with all the cafeteria, having different people and that kind of thing. And then we were talking about having our safety patrol helping to present the PowerPoint for us and being there to guide parents a lot around the school as well.
That's awesome.
That makes good sense. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Some of the things that you'll find in your the individual school specific teams channel in the annual meeting, the kind of the template PowerPoint, sample attendance sheets, sample invitations, all those are in the individual channel for your schools. And for those who are maybe a little bit newer to this or haven't done it before, really like the annual meeting PowerPoint, it's pretty cookie cutter. There's not a whole lot of changes that have to be made to that. Of course, you're going to put your school name on there and the principal and the date. But like, what is Title I? Whether it's Westside, Brooksville, Suncoast, or Parrott, that's the same thing, right? That doesn't have to change. You have a right to. That doesn't really need to change. Parents' right to know. That doesn't need to change. So, I mean, now, how do schools receive funds? That doesn't need to change. Probably not until slide 7 here is where you would customize it. And this you'll also find in that in your Teams channel is a unique one of these for each of the schools, which that's where you find the stuff to plug it in there. So don't be going on to Sims or on to Edudata or whatever. Where do I find that? That's all in here. The school budgets, that's in here. What are we getting? There's the numbers to plug in. What was done was, what are the big ticket items that the school has purchased? You don't need to list every single thing you're buying. We allocated $874.03 to pens and pencils. Nobody cares. They don't want to know that. But the bulk of that, we're doing extended learning. We have paraprofessional. We're paying for AR, Education Galaxy, Promethean panels, resource teachers, laptop. Those are kind of the bulk of the things that we're spending our money on. And you can kind of do with that like as you please. I've done before, like when I went out to Suncoast when they just became a new Title I school, and I took their total budget, and of course, the teachers who had never been in Title I before, like, whoa, we got $280,000, wow! And then I kind of did a percent breakdown. Here's here's the people, that's this much of it, and here's the technology, that's this much of it. Like, oh, we don't have like a lot of extra money to spend on things. Most of it's already allocated for stuff, which I think is also important to share with your staff. And the parents who come out, that this is different than SAC, or it's different than other pots of money where, hey, can Title I pay for this? Probably not, because we've determined what we were going to pay for this school year last April. It's pretty well already been determined what we're spending those funds on. The assessment information, there is a slide in the PowerPoint that has this table here, but an easy thing to do, instead of like, well, do I have to go and put you don't have to go and enter all the numbers, because you can go back to that Word document, pretty much just copy the whole entire table and delete this one, paste it in there, and then there's the data. The school grades have been removed because we're not releasing school grades, and principals have been kind of directed to not share the school grades because they are unreleased. So it still gives the data, and you still have the points and everything, but you don't have the actual school grades, because the last year we had one was really 2018-19. So this is okay to share.
Those columns should be removed on the presentation now too.
Oh,
if it's not, let me know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have pulled an older one, or yeah, no, I've probably pulled an older one.
Yeah, you pulled the one from Eastside.
Okay.
Those weren't on mine, so those are not there now, Megan.
Perfect.
Okay. We did still keep the federal index information in there, but that's going back to 1819, which there may be some questions that arise from that. So any of yours that were under 41% are on there. I believe Eastside put all of them, correct? Did they add all of them so they can also show the ones who were above the index? Feel free to add those if you so wish. But this piece of paper, this document, will help you plug in some of the stuff on the PowerPoint here, and then decide make it your school colors. If you want to change the font size, color scheme, you want to do whatever you want to, you may do that. If you have someone there who wants to narrate it and turn it into the video, by all means do so. If you want my lovely voice to lull you to sleep, I can do that. I can record it for you. I have a multitude of accents I can do. I can do Russian, I can do Irish, Scottish. I'll be more than happy to throw in one of my brogues there to make it all fun for the folks. And this is probably what we'll use for the Sorry We Missed You packet when we send the stuff home to the kids and the families who weren't able to come, just like we did last year. The entire meeting last year was a YouTube video embedded inside a Microsoft form. We'll do the same thing for the video that's created here, and then send that out with the link for the Sorry We Missed You, because for parents to just sort of take that stuff and flip through it on their own and try to figure out what it is, that's kind of complicated. This way they can at least have somebody talk them through what that information is.
So one thing, as you're updating this and customizing it for your own school, please send me those copies so I can have that for monitoring. So when we get called for annual meeting, I have all of that ready to go. And I'll send reminders, but it's just, you know, we have the template, but whatever you choose to do specifically, if you could just send me that, then I have that. Just wanted to add that. Oh, and the ESSA data. If you want to add those additional subgroups that aren't on your packet and you need that data, shoot me an email and I'll get that for you. So just in case you don't have access to it.
Okay. The packet that I sent, because Mike says he knows everything that's going on with Eastside. The packet that we sent was kind of a sample. It doesn't have to. You don't have to have just this information to provide to your parents. Some schools are going to include more, possibly more stuff. The district parent family engagement plan summary. We have these printed, so don't print them out. We have these and we'll bring them over to you. I know one of the schools we spoke with earlier this week, they don't staple the stuff together. They sort of use this as a sleeve to hold the stuff together so that you're not ruining your hands by stapling constantly. Then your agenda, just have a pretty clear agenda of what you're doing, clear enough for the parents so that they know where they're going, where the location of the things are. And it is important for us that we have the school, the annual meeting, the date, because that's another monitoring thing that's going to prove that we actually had the meeting. Here's the agenda. Here's where the stuff actually was.
When we come out, I'm happy to do that for you, work on your agenda for you. Just once you give me your specifics.
Yep. And this, like we went out to Eastside, the agenda you're looking at right now is very different than the agenda they had last night. And it's a very short time frame. This was cut out, that was changed. We're not doing that anymore. The best idea, the best laid plans, right? Then that information packet. And your individual school's parent and family engagement plan summary, which most of the schools, those should have been printed at the beginning of the year along with your compacts. That's usually one of those things that that we go ahead and print. If it was not, then let us know and we can help you with that if that wasn't done. But usually when we get the little print request, it's this many summaries, it's this many compacts. Some may just do the compact. So if these were printed, check wherever your compacts are, wherever they were delivered. If you already have these, then you're good, and we don't have to reprint them. If you need them printed.
I don't think Suncoast went with printing them last year, because I think we figured we were just going to include them in with the packet and print them and just collate it as part of the packet instead of having to put it all together. So check it.
And that was your idea, I imagine, Maria, because that's a pretty good one.
Well, it was one that we were discussing as facilitators at the time, but then we also, it was based on money and things too. And how much was available to get them printed or not.
Yeah, that's Maria, not taking credit for her good ideas.
Not really. All right, questions. What do we got? What's burning through the brains there?
Mr. Lastra, can I email Lisa Peeler and come out on September 24th in the morning to work on all this? Okay, yes. I'll email her. And then Deanna, I know we have a date. Daisy, is there a good time for us to come out to you?
I don't.
Why don't I look at the calendar?
Can I text you when I get back to my office?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yep.
And Daisy, Jamil just left you a voicemail too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Maria, Megan,
Yes.
one more tips. Any good tips and tricks on how to pull this off and make it super duper awesome? And maybe what common roadblocks you have experienced over the years of things that the night of, or oh, that always happens, we always forgot to do that, or this is something that we ran into issues with sign-in sheets or with this, or
have plenty of pens or pencils available for the sign-in sheets.
Mine always worked out so well, I don't know.
There you go. Maria knows better than me.
It was after years of experience, it's just in there. Just be as prepared as you could and be flexible that night.
Okay. I would probably based on eSides, make sure that you're getting that video or that thing recorded long enough in advance, in case because I know the girls, you had some issues with those last year getting the videos recorded, and we weren't even having real annual meetings. Those were just trying to get them posted on YouTube, and the number of times you had to re-record them, or it didn't do this or do that, that can be frustrating. Because I've done over the years where you're narrating a PowerPoint and you've done the whole thing, and then you go to play it and nothing. It didn't capture anything of what you said. You got to go back and do it over again, and like 3 times you've had to do it. So if you're waiting until the night before, or the day of, to get that in, that could be kind of problematic.
Those have to be recorded in plenty of time, because especially if you're someone like me who, when you mess up, you have to go back and refix it because you don't want the stumble, and then after recording it like 5 times, you say that one stumble can stay. But definitely, and don't record when you have bells going off behind you or announcement times, because that will get picked up and you'll have to re-record and start all over.
Mike, are we doing our fun one?
Yeah, let's do it next week.
Okay, do it. It's gonna be awesome. Work on a script.
I don't ever work on scripts. I'm always impromptu.
Maybe the fun part of that will be I'm on a script, or I'm trying to work on it, and you're constantly just interrupting me.
Yeah, that's the only way I roll. I cannot do scripts. I will not do a script.
That will be awesome. Let's do that. That'll be great. Super duper. I think probably the best where this is gonna make a lot more sense. Like Deanna, you said you're gonna work with your team, and then Megan's gonna come out. Having gone through this, okay, this is what. All right, this makes some sense. Then when we come out and work through the presentation and the agenda, and okay, are the copies ready? Is this there? Is that there? Is this there? Is this there? That's going to make it seem a heck of a lot easier as far as, oh, okay, this isn't quite as crazy as I thought it was going to be. We're good. We're in good hands. We got it.
And we're willing, with the Parent Academy, to help you make those copies, at your school. You just provide us the materials, and we're happy to stand at your copier and get that all put together for you. That's what Jason said, at least. He said he's very happy to do that all day.
I am.
I'll make sure to send them directly to Jason Galitsky then. Perfect. Writing it down.
I got good staple thumbs. Good staple thumbs. I think that's about all that I got.
Was there anything that I put in those files and the channels that just didn't make sense, or you have any questions about? I tried to make sure you had everything that you would need the night of, but I know sometimes looking at it, just reach out. We're happy to answer any questions at any time.
And so everyone, so that you're aware, so in that annual team or annual meeting team, every school has their own individual little side channel. You may not have access to all these. Megan, does everybody see just their own?
They do. They see the general and their own.
So I got all these over here, but each of you should have your own individual one there, where your files are going to be located for your presentation, that Word document. And the general team is where this recording is going to be. That's where Mike's 15 minutes of relaxation was located. So we'll do any updates to the good of the group in here when they get specific to the the school, we can put them in your own. And here's what Megan was saying earlier about the verbiage as far as masks. And you can see this is really not that intrusive, or it's worded very politely. So it's not like, hey, wear a mask. It's okay. It's well worded. Now I thought maybe if we, especially at Suncoast, if over the manatee, we had like a nice mask going over the manatee, that might be cute, but I was kind of vetoed on doing that.
No.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay. That's all I got.
Maria, now that we have the date, that I'll go ahead and put the invitation in there and everything. And because in parents' file, that's why it wasn't there yet. And then we can always change it.
Files yet, so you're fine.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. Let me know when we're doing our thing next week, buddy.
Yeah, seriously. Let's get together next week.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Bye,
Adios.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.